welcome back to my YouTube channel. Let me introduce myself. I am Winnie Jo and I speak on issues concerning international students and intending international students. So to my new subscribers, welcome. To the old subscribers, thank you. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, the same name. I am Winnie Jo. The link is beneath this video description, and don't forget to join my Telegram group. The link is below this video description. So if you have any comments, please drop it in the comment box and I would reply if you have any question. But if you have more question that needs more explanation, you could just join the Telegram group, and I'm on ground and so many other people are on ground to give you good answers or to whatever issues that's bothering you. Okay, so today I'm going to talk on mistakes dependents of international students make. So first of all, an international student is allowed to work 20 hours a week, while the dependent is allowed to work full-time, although they can't work in some certain professions like sports, like as a doctor, as a pharmacist, and any other category as advised by the UKVI. So regardless, there are still mistakes they make when it comes to one, employment. Now, dependents of international students are allowed to work full-time, right? And then it is expected of them to get full-time employment, permanent jobs. But most mistakes they make is to go for temporary jobs as though they are students, going to agencies and picking up job as different category when they can be more. So in this category of employment mistakes, most of them also make a mistake of leaving their career and trying to divert to something else, like a carer or like a carer or like a support worker. This is not actually an advisable move. If you are an engineer in Nigeria, in whatever country you're coming for, you should try to look for what is the requirement to become an engineer or to get a license to work as an engineer. And most companies that actually give employment would actually train you on the job, just the way you are being trained as a caregiver or you are being trained as a support giver. That's the same way you also be trained as an engineer. Get the license. Some of them require you to write some exams. Get this all done. It's actually much more easier for you to follow up with whatever career you had before, taking note of the experiences that you've already had from Nigeria or from your own country. So even if you want to actually do a temporary job, you shouldn't be for more than 4 months. Sorry, it shouldn't be for more than 4 months, because by then you should have already had your NI number, which also gives you more privilege to get full-time employment or permanent jobs. So now, why is it important for the dependents to get permanent jobs and not go for temporary jobs, agency job, and whatever it is? Now, temporary jobs are actually categorized as 0 hours. And I got to know when I was trying to rent an apartment, and then I was telling them, oh yes, my spouse actually works as a temporary staff, and said no, we need someone that actually works as a full-time staff, as a permanent staff in whatever organization, whatever profession, because temporary employment is categorized as 0 hours, and as such cannot be given opportunity to so many other things. For instance, when you want to rent a house, when you want to enter a room, as I just said before, they want to know what type of job you do. Now, you telling them you work as a caregiver with an agency, under an agency, or as a temporary staff, it's not going to fly. Most landlords or most agents would not want to give you that. I know most of us as international students, the house we currently in, we only it's expensive. You might want to just go to another house that's more cheaper. Okay, you must want to go to a house that's more cheaper, and if you're not able to meet up with these requirements, it's all done. Okay, it won't fly through. Okay, so if your dependent is still making this mistake, maybe you should try to talk him out of it, and you guys should support yourself to get license in whatever job if it requires a license. Okay, but most jobs in the UK, as I've seen, it actually requires a license. So if your job requires a license to practice, then go. If your spouse or was a financial manager or something like that, you could try to apply in junior categories in that aspect and see how it goes. Yes, the spouse of an international student can get a tier 2 job even before the international student is done with her studies or with his studies. Okay, so just keep scouting and don't just tie yourself to temporary jobs. Okay, when you can be more, when there are opportunities out there and you can be more. So there's no harm in you applying for these jobs in junior category. Although if you're coming from your own country and you're a manager there or something, you might want to apply from a lower level, okay, and build yourself up. So don't make the mistakes of applying as a manager, okay, so because you want to gain a UK experience first of all before you start aiming for higher positions. Okay, and so that is just practically that when it comes to employment. The next mistake that they make is not building a credit history. The moment you are in the UK as a resident in the UK, it's required for you to start building up your credit history little by little. How do you build it up? By there are different ways to build it up. Actually, there are different ways, but one of the ways is to make sure that your standing orders, like for your rent, your water bills, your council tax, these are standing orders. Okay, so some of the ways is to make sure that these standing orders, you actually pay them on time as at when due, and it is on an account, on a savings account, or on an account that is not online. Okay, let me explain that. Most of dependents of international students actually has a Mozo account. A Mozo account is a nice one, but when it comes to having credit history, I don't think it's going to do you much good. It's not going to do you much good. So it is advisable for the dependents to go open an high street account like Barclays, Santander, NatWest, Lloyds, and what have you. Open a normal account that have an office near you, not an online bank, an office near you, okay? And then make that account your salary account, and tell them after opening your current account, tell them you also want to open a savings account. Make sure your standing order for your rent, your water bills, your internet, council tax, whatever it is you are paying as a dependent of the international student, make sure it all goes through that account. In such a way, within 2 months, you've already built a credit history that should be enough for you to actually buy a property in the UK, that could help you buy whatever gadgets, like maybe you want to buy a laptop and you want to do this payment, instrumental payments. They will want to check your credit history. So you having a good credit history will enable you have such privilege to buy an item and pay instrumentally. Then having a good credit history is in fact, it's something that is very, very important, because even when you want to change your house, you want to change your accommodation, you want to change where you're staying, you need your credit history. Okay, so for international students, most of them that are single, they're all in these bills inclusive homes, so it's actually difficult for them to build a credit history because everything is all included in the rent. But you as dependents, you can actually a dependent of an international student, and you have family and you are not in a student accommodation, you can actually build a credit history that will be beneficial to you. In fact, if you're able to build a good credit history, you'll be able to buy a property, eligible to buy a property in the UK, which will make you eligible to actually apply for the investment visa to prolong your stay in the UK. So it's just simple maths that can be met if you start the process early. Another mistake dependents of international students make is to actually not make use of their IHS benefits. Okay, so I actually noticed that under the IHS you could actually make sure that you're actually up to date when it comes to your health. Go for your regular checkup, and have share the men, they don't like going for your regular checkup. Go for your regular checkup and make sure that your money works for you full time. Okay, make sure it works for you. At least that's what I'm doing. Okay. Another mistake that dependents of international students make is not to start the driving classes on time. I know you're going to be looking for money for fees and to do many other things, but it's going to be a grievous mistake if after a year or after 6 months in the UK you've not started your driving classes for you to have a UK driver's license. In fact, having a UK driver license is very, very important for most jobs. So when you are even job hunting, some of them will ask you if you have a UK driver's license. Okay, so it's very, very important for you as a dependent, because the students now, which is your spouse, maybe your wife or your husband, they can't work full-time 20 hours, but you that can work full-time, please make sure that you get everything sorted when it comes to your driver's license. Driver license comes in, it takes different categories, different processes. So start the process early, as this will enable you get a permanent job and with a good pay. Okay, so it's just that simple. Start it early. Another mistake dependents of international students make is not to give their spouse, which is the student or the international student, okay, not giving them space to work. Now, yes, you can work full-time and you want to work all of that. If there are no children involved, or if your children are grown, they don't need this daycare and all of that, it's going to be a mistake if you don't let your spouse work. So please try to manage your time and manage whatever days you have to work, in order for your spouse, which is the student, to be able to build work history or have a work experience in the UK. All right, so please don't make these mistakes. I hope I've been able to break it down to the lowest that I can. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any question, or if there are other mistakes that you know that dependents of international students make, and you could please signify that in the comment section so that others can learn. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share. Thank you.